So, Anvesha, last time when I spoke to Anand, so
Mm-hmm.
Anand was mentioning that you guys are going remote and have removed your office space.
Mm-hmm.
So how is this new normal treating you? There's a lot of paradigm shift from the last 3 months. I'm sure a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things have changed in Aglasem too. And how are things moved from physical entities to remote working? How did this entire experience treated you?
So actually, you can say, just like when we watch a movie, there is always a beginning, then a climax, and then a happy ending. So I believe in the work from home model also we had a similar story. So initially, of course, it was a very sudden change, and thankfully we took the decision of going remote just before the lockdown was announced. So thankfully we were able to transition everybody. So our team members were able to many were able to go back to their hometowns also. They took the physical assets that they needed and they went to their hometowns. And so initially it was a little difficult because people had to set up a workspace within their homes. Then they needed an internet connection and the basic things that you need to start working. Honestly speaking, where to start with, people were very happy, because you have been working throughout the year on different things, different projects, and you wanted a break. So when it started out, everybody was very happy with the work from home model. But then towards the middle of the movie, like I told you, so there was also a climax point where suddenly people started facing a lot of problems because in office, so whether you are a senior or a junior, you have that a physical interaction with people, wherein a lot of your problems are automatically solved. You have a small problem, you go to a senior and say, sir, I'm facing this problem, how do I do it? And you can quickly get it done. That particular person can also tackle 4 to 5 people at once. But in online, so these short, the small problems, it's a little difficult to handle. So it's a lot of pressure on the team to solve problems by self rather than coming to the seniors for every small thing. And the same applies to the seniors. To get very small work done, the senior would rather prefer, I'll do this myself than giving it to somebody else. But then yes,
Right.
again, towards like when we today, so today is 27 June. So after working from home for such a long time, people have come to an equilibrium. So our mode of communication has changed a lot. So we are communicating a lot of things by the email, by we are finishing a lot of small issues over the call rather than taking them through the long process or things. So honestly speaking, thankfully we were in such a space which is doable completely online. I mean, we are not in a manufacturing space or any a
Correct.
certain space which is where face to face is as such required. So thankfully we are able to do pretty well in the work from home mode as far as just the work is concerned. Of course, how the business is going is a different story, and that is something which is completely economy dependent.
Correct. Correct. Got it. So again, coming to Aglasem, so how did it all start? It's been around 8 years since you have started this platform.
Mhm.
So how was your experience while building Aglasem and especially working in tech space? How were things back then versus how are things back now? How are things now?
Okay, so honestly, when we started working on Aglasem, it was purely to solve the pain point of the students. So when we started Aglasem, it was just a portal where basically the name Aglasem means going from one semester to the next. So the pain point we wanted to
Correct.
solve was that the students should be able to pass from one semester to the next. So I don't know how your college experience was, but when we were in college, we used to study for a semester exams max to max 2 to 3 days before the test. And the first thing we had to do was we did not even know what was the syllabus, who had the no,
Pretty much the same.
pretty much the same. I think that happens in most of the engineering colleges at least. So, and even then we were lazy. We were like,
Correct.
why should we wait for 2 to 3 hours in the line? We had this small photocopy shop in our college campus, and there used to be this long line behind it, so that you could photocopy the notes and everything. And so, again, being the lazy people we did not even want to waste time there. So we were like, we should have a platform where people should get everything online and they can just print them whenever they want to. Actually, back then, Anand and the seniors basically deployed this whole model wherein, they got all the syllabus, the question papers, and everything in one place. And overnight, they just scanned it and uploaded it on the platform. So that was how Aglasam was born, technically speaking.
Got it.
And back then, our college was DC, Delhi College of Engineering. Now it is DTU, Delhi Technological University. DC had a sister college, NSIT. So we had a lot of friends in NSIT, and when they got to know, you are doing this in the college, so like, yeah, why should we also be behind? Please upload our papers also, and they helped us in uploading their papers and curriculum and everything online. And a few other colleges from Delhi joined in, so we got a lot of traction there. After that, so in college we were not so we were always involved in a lot of things. So back then, when the admission session was going on, we were actually helping our college to build up the website and everything. And we used to also run a forum for the potential students for the college. And we realized that students have a lot of queries. The 12th class students, they have a lot of queries before they join a college. They want to know each and everything, ki hostel kaisa hai, how is the campus, how are the seniors, is there any ragging, what are the placement, different questions. So we decide that, okay, why are we only helping the students within the college? We should help the students who are going to join colleges also. And that is where the whole idea of
Got it.
providing information and resources to students developed, of course, over the years. So basically, we as the founders of the company, we have always focused on solving pain points of the education space. So whether it be information, whether it be a resource, like students need NCRT solutions, they need notes, and we want them to be very easily available. So we have been just solving pain points. Coming to your question on how things are different, I would say that the penetration of internet and the availability of devices to the young age students has been a turning point. Incidentally speaking,
Okay.
I don't know whether you followed, when Geo was launched, the penetration of internet doubled, tripled overnight. Everybody now had internet in their hands. And back when we were kids,
Correct.
getting a smartphone was a costly affair. I mean, parents would tell us, ki, get 90% or 95%, then I'm going to give you a phone. But nowadays, having a phone is a very, it's a very common affair. So my
Common.
friend has a kid. He is, I think, 4 years old, and he has a tab of his own. He's a 4-year-old kid, and he has a personal tab of his own. So I think how the space has
Got it.
evolved is it has become easier for everybody, whether you are young or old, whether you are rich or poor, to have access to the technology. That is where we, as the information providers, also have had to change tactics a little. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
So this guy who used to come to cook food in my home, one day I saw that he was speaking to his smartphone and looking for admission for his kid. So I was like, "Ki, Bhaiya, since when did you start, getting information from Google? And how do you use it? Because, you can't write in English. You can't even read what I'm writing." He's like, "Nee, nee, I tell my phone what to do and he gives me the answers." So technology has become
Got it. The voice
voice
command.
command. And although we think that voice command is such a hi-fi technology and everything, but the thing is that the bigger the technology is, the easier it is to use, right? When
Correct.
technology happened, people had to write pages long commands to just have something printed. Now you write one line command. So I think the technology has become more polished, and therefore it has become easier for people to access technology. Coming specifically to education, that is where I think it is very important for us to understand that we are very privileged, that we have been creating products in such a time when now it is easier for us to get a larger audience. That being said, ultimately the very basics of any economics is that if the demand rises, obviously the cost will go down. So when it comes to basic earnings through, so see, a lot of people in the edtech space have been earning through advertisements, through banners and things like that.
Got it.
So earlier, when the audience was limited, the cost was higher. Now the audience is more, but the cost has gone down. So talking of it as a business, we
Got it.
have more audience, but yes, that does not automatically reflect that the business is doing well. But yes, the ultimate aim of the edtech space, that education has gone beyond just books, it has gone beyond just classrooms. Yes, that is ultimately becoming a reality now. I'm very happy to see that.
Sure. As you mentioned that the paradigm shift was your data being getting penetrated, the internet getting penetrated to tier two and tier three cities as well. So you, as you say that this has been a shift in digital ecosystem. So so considering that fact, so lot of your companies in your space like Byju's, you have Get My Uni. Do you think that classroom training will still prevail in conditions like these, especially when the digital space ecosystem is developing so much? And with pandemic coming in, do you think that digital classrooms are still on, or you see a lot of shift happening in a tech space going online?
Okay. So here I'll give you the views of four different, genres. One, from the student point of view, online classes are convenient because you can take them at any time. You can also record them. You can refer them to at any time. And the students say that it has become easier for them to convey their doubts because a lot of time in the classrooms the student is very hesitant in asking questions. They have that peer pressure. Now they are able to WhatsApp to the teachers, ma'am, I have a doubt. Can I please have a Google Meet with you? And the teachers are saying yes, yes, that's cool. But at the same time, the student feels a little disconnected, because that, sitting in the class, you are with your friends, the teacher is there, there's this aura of a class itself. A privileged student who has a room to himself when he's taking a class will not feel that much of a difference. But a student who is, say, at home, and he's maybe just staying in a 1 BHK or 2 BHK with a family of 5 to 6 members, he does not have that privacy. He does not have that. How do I explain it? He does not have the same ecosystem as he gets in the class. He is facing a
Correct.
little problem. He has lots of disturbances. Siblings are playing, his parents are shouting, somebody is cooking, some dog is barking outside. So maybe he is facing a little challenge. But yes, that is something that can be overcome if the technology becomes a little better. Maybe if he's using noise cancelling headphones and his internet is better. The second aspect is for the parent. Now, as far as the parent is concerned, he is very happy that online classes are happening right now because he does not want to send his child and get exposed to the virus. And in this pandemic situation, every parent has very unanimously told me, because just like you are having this webinar with me, I have had a number of webinars with parents and students and VCs. Parents have unanimously
Got it.
said that jab tak there is no miracle cure, or we are not satisfied that this is just another cold and there's a cure for this, I can't send my child, whether it's a whether
Got
it's a school child or even it's a college going adult. They are not ready to send their kids, and that is understandable. But in the longer run, they would prefer at least a certain form of physical interaction for their kid, because classes, it is not just about the learning which the teacher is giving you on the blackboard. कि Pythagoras theorem सीखना सब कुछ नहीं होता है. Going to the school, interacting with peers, participating in those competitions, annual day, and all these things, these are also part of the growing up process. So the parent wants that in the longer run, at least there should be some distributed learning. कि online हो रहा है, but चलो offline कुछ तो होना चाहिए. From the teachers and the administration point of view, I am very happy and I'm very proud to say this, that in India, the faculties and the administration have overnight adopted the online system. And this goes not just for the classes. I mean, it is very encouraging to see कि जो teacher इतने साल से सिर्फ pen और paper में पढ़ा रहा था, today he is very comfortably taking a online lesson. He is capturing his videos on YouTube. दे हैव ऑल्सो डन इट फॉर द अदर एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ एजुकेशन. जैसे कि आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू कि हमने अभी अपना एक प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च करा है टेस्ट फ्रॉम होम के नाम से. सो बेसिकली यूजिंग दैट वी आर enabling the institutions to conduct online exams. And
Okay.
so online exams is something which was pretty alien to most of the institutions, चाहे वो government हो या private हो या कोई भी हो. But they have been very open about listening to the new technologies and adopting them. देखिए resistance, there'll always be a resistance to change. But the fact that at least 5 or 6 of the 10 people are ready to think about it, ready to at least try it out once, and then when they like it, even the rest of the people who have been a little skeptical about the changes, whether it be for online classes or for online exams or anything, they are also very they are also learning very quickly. I think it is possible. So today only I was interviewing a professor, and he said this line that India in itself is a very adaptive nation. So we are very quick because we are survivors. We want to keep moving forward. We can't just stay at home and say कि चलो जो चल रहा है चलने देते हैं. So I think that is where I mean, when you say that how the online classes and everything is being adopted, I think everybody is very happy with what is being done with the changes. Longer run may maybe only online classes will not survive, but yes, there will be a hybrid model wherein now online classes, online exams, online meeting spaces will become common, and a few things may be offline. Maybe like the practical aspects of education could be offline. Yes,
Just to have a blended approach towards learning.
exactly.
Both, yeah, cool. So again, back in 2010, only privileged class or only certain folks have option of or a chance of buying a smartphone. A lot of things definitely would have changed, and marketing, target market your product to a target segment might differ in a lot of ways. Now that a lot of tier 2, tier 3 cities are also have come in, a lot of folks are accessing internet data or content online. So how did your marketing approach changed drastically from 2010 to 2020? So what channels have you
See,
actually taken?
yeah, actually, it comes across as very strange to people who ask me this question. But Aglas have never had a marketing strategy. So like I said, we had been very content focused and we had been very user focused. Here, social media played a very big role. Because we know that our user is primarily on social media. आज का student जो है, they don't go to Google first. I think they go to their social media platforms first. Their primary point of getting information is the social media. So that was one aspect. So thankfully, our team is very young, and so they keep innovating these things. And the second thing, obviously, was platforms like yours, the True Push and the Push platforms. Why I'll tell you is because so see, when you have a smartphone in your hand, even if it is in my hand, I usually go to my Google feed. I usually go to the pop-ups that come into my phone before I go to Google or anything else. So
Right.
telling them that an information has come is important, because you have a device in your hand. Just telling them, like from the education space, I can tell you the student is spending restless nights right now waiting for his board exam results. Today only the UP board result was announced, and we were able to inform the students as soon as that happened. So obviously, now the student wants, I don't want to go to Google every second and keep refreshing the page to see when my result has come. They want to be relaxed, and when the information comes, tell me. So earlier we used to call that, that subscription model, come and subscribe with your email and we'll give you that information. So the
Right.
subscription model has now sort of changed to the push notification model, to the social media platform model. The user wants to be engaged on our platforms. The user will come and say, fine, I'm subscribing to your push notification. I'm going and joining your Facebook channel, your Twitter channel. Just give me the privilege that whenever there's an information, I should know about it whenever that comes. So these are the ways that we are. So when you say just marketing, so this is how we are more or less doing it. Other than that, we focus a lot on, like I told you, solving the pain point. So when we are providing the students with free material, when we are giving them a lot of free mock tests, we are giving them NCRT solutions, we are giving them value added services. So that is also another way of re-engaging our customers. That is also another way of telling them that this is what you should be using, this is the right platform for you.
Got it. And so, how about retention strategies with a lot of other companies in this space shelling out a lot of money, like Unacademy, Byju's, spending a lot of money,
Mhm.
bringing in celebrities, trying to push their packages.
Mm-hmm.
in UPSC or other areas of education. So how are
Mm-hmm.
you surviving Money Might versus organically grown platform like a Glassem?
See, that competition will always be there. So this is a very funny question. So I also the other day I was talking to so I won't name him, but he is leading the education vertical of a very big newspaper. So I
Got
asked
it.
him, ki, so what are you planning to do? So he was laughing and saying, ki, fine, if somebody is getting Shah Rukh Khan, I will get Virender Sehwag or Sachin Tendulkar. So that competition is always there. You can throw money and you can have advertisements and everything. Honestly speaking, because Agla Sem has been bootstrapped since the beginning, so we are very wise about where to spend money. So we don't usually like to throw away money, and we don't even have the privilege of doing that. So maybe in the near future, when we want to, go big on that space, uh, so see that is also important. Kyunki, to get a new, so that is actually, in fact, I'll tell you that is not a way of re-engaging customers. That is a way of getting new customers, right?
New
So
customers.
right.
Got it.
So when people don't know about me and they see an advertisement on TV that this is happening. So in fact, we also ran a small advertisement campaign a few days ago on television. It was not a video ad campaign; it was more of a L banner campaign, that sort of thing. So yes, that is also important. See, marketing has a role of itself in any company. It all depends on what sort of marketing budget you are allocating, what is your priority. So like I told you, our priorities have always been to go to the customer directly. Okay, fine. My user is on social media. I'll go to social media and tell them, your result is out. Come and check here, or this is the free NCRT solution. Come and get it here, or maybe through channels. So we, fortunately for us, a lot of our branding has also been done by word of mouth. How, I'll tell you. So if I don't know, if you talk to students, the one thing they will always associate Aglasem with is educational material. We are providing notes, solutions, things like that for free. So a lot of
Right.
times students tell other students, go to Aglasem and you'll get this for free. You can download it for free. Or the teachers tell students. So a lot of teachers tell their students, ki, acha, fine, you're not able to understand this chapter, download it from Aglasem. They have the whole PDF there. So that is also, so I think if the product is good, a lot of word of mouth advertisement automatically happens. Obviously, that is not something you can rely on for the longer term, but that is necessary. That is the groundwork that has to happen. Other than that, again, so push notifications are important, emailers are important. When a parent or a student is subscribing to us for, say, engineering updates or medical updates or school updates, so we tell them over emails, also SMS. And so but yes, for a bootstrapped company, lower costs are very important.
But then you mentioned some striking points, being consistent and then making sure that you are solving pain problems of students. That
Mhm.
itself will make sure that your customer retention strategy is very, very strong, and especially with word of mouth. And one student understand that his problems are getting solved, the word of mouth quickly, moves to, and the
I'll give
word
you another.
spreads.
Yes, I'll give you another example here. So online exams. See, some of the premier exams had always been online in India, but then JEE Main became online. So JEE Main was one of the biggest headline catching exams that became online. And then with JEE Main, so last year NTA made all its exams online. Agla Sem had made mock tests available for students as soon as JEE Main became online, and our mock tests had been free. So now students can come to Agla Sem and take mock tests online. And why that is important, I'll tell you, is maybe for you and me who is continuously using, computer, laptop every day, maybe playing Candy Crush and all these online quizzes. Online exams is not a big deal. But honestly speaking, in India, at least 50% of the students are not habituated to the computer model of exams. For them, there is this very big mind block. In fact, even when my brother gave the JEE a few years ago, I asked him, why aren't you going for the online one? You can, change the answers at any point of time. There are so many add-ons. He said that, I have been so habituated to this pen and paper model that it will be very difficult for me to mentally prepare myself for the online exam. And he is
Got
a
it.
kid who had been using computers since I think he was 8 or 9 years old. So having that free mock test was also very important for Agla Sem, so that students can have that mental preparation of taking an online exam. So again, we keep identifying what are the pain points of the students, we keep giving them solutions for that, and yes, we try to keep things free as far as possible.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
So again, you mentioned push notification intervention was there in making sure that the communication is going out to the students.
Right,
So
right.
what you also have content packaging as to how your customers conceive, or sorry, how your customers consume content, right? So what were
Mhm.
the strategies which you know involved while building the push notification campaign?
Mhm.
So what were the things which you guys have kept in mind while building one?
Okay. So I'll tell you, before we started True Push, we were using other push platforms also. And there was I don't know, like I told you again, I mentioned Geo. So after Geo happened, before that, we had the split between computer and mobile. So our users from computer and mobile was more of a 70-30% split. Like 70% of the users were always from computer and 30% from mobile. But all of a sudden, it changed to 50-50, and now you won't believe it, the split is 37. I think you'll believe it because, of course, you are in the data space. So now only 20-30% of the people are from computer and the rest are from mobile. So now when we have to build the push notification, we have to be very particular about what we are writing in the initial part. The first few words are the most important. The images that go with the push is also very important, because we know that most of the users are going to use it on the mobile phone. And in the mobile phone, like even if I pick up my phone right now, I'm having at least 10 to 20 push notifications from the different apps and everything that I have.
Right.
What is going to catch the person's attention from those 10-20 push notification is very important. So sometimes we use the use of the words, b, the use of the language, because say like I told you, so today UP board's result was announced, so I know that most of my demographic would be the Hindi speaking audience, so I might be sending the push
Correct.
notification in Hindi language. Then there is the use of icons also. So what is the icon? Jaise ki when I get a push notification from Mintra, I have these bow ties and dresses icons, so I can identify अच्छा ये e-commerce platform का आया है, maybe a fashion site का है. When we send push notifications from Agla Sem, we have to use relevant education icons, की trophy icon हो गया या फिर इस तरह का. तो icons also play very important. Again, it all boils down to how you can catch the audience's attention. So what words you are using? Are you saying result announced? Are you saying UP board result announced? Are you saying that UP board, result in Hindi and announced? So another interesting thing is that although the language of the audience could be primarily Hindi or Bengali or anything else, the reading is always easier in English. The words have to be in English, but uh, I mean, are you getting my point? So
Yeah.
when I say
So you're using English as a primary language. However, the communication is still
is
in their
yes,
language.
yes, yes. So I think the reading, because nowadays when we write SMS also, हम अपने language वाला app नहीं install करते हैं. We usually write in English, but we are saying the words in that particular language. So these are a few things which we also have to keep in mind while sending a push notification. कि what are the words we are using. So basically in push notification you have these different fields. What is the I think you call it the title and the body, the image. So the title has to be catchy. It has to be short and it has to be catchy. The content has to be descriptive. It has to give them something over. Like if I'm saying in the title that result is announced, and in the body, if I'm telling them, the pass percentage this time is 70% and 30% failed or something. So it gives them that additional point of, clarity कि हाँ,
Urgency, sense of urgency.
एग्जैक्टली क्योंकि देखो ऐसा भी होता है ना, अगेन बिकॉज कॉम्पिटिटर्स भी बहुत सारे हैं, प्लेयर्स भी बहुत सारे हैं, but the biggest problem is not the competitors. The biggest problem are, say, the points of fake news or the fake push notifications. So maybe the user has already been told by 10 people over the last 10 days की result आ गया, होता है clickbait होता है. तो we don't do
Clickbait, yeah.
clickbait, but बाकी लोग तो clickbait कर रहे हैं. अब वो जो बाकी लोग क्लिकबेट कर रहे हैं उससे क्या हो रहा है कि लॉयल्टी कम हो रही है लोगों की. अब जैसे मेरे को होता है कि इफ आई गेट वन बैड पुश नोटिफिकेशन में सारों को क्लियर ऑल कर देती हूँ क्योंकि मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है कुछ भी देखने का. So herein, building that loyalty, I am not giving you a clickbait, I am giving you actual figures. So giving figures is also very important. कि result announced at 1 PM या फिर 70% passed. So ये जो चीजें होती है ये push notifications के लिए काफी जरूरी होती है. Obviously, so this is what I'm saying about when I'm doing a push notification for an immediate event. if I have to do a push campaign कि मान लीजिए मेरा कोई campaign चल रहा है तो वो pre-decided कुछ चीजें होती उनमें से we always have to play around a little. What works today might not work tomorrow because the user has gotten bored of what worked yesterday. So
Correct.
that creativity always has to. Push notification is also like a social media platform कि social media में जैसे एक ही formula रोज रोज नहीं चलता है. So similarly in push also I can't do the same thing again and again.
So how do you come to a conclusion that something is working, something is not working? Do you look at metrics meticulously, or how do you plan your next campaigns?
So what I have seen is that when so like in our team, we have the editorial team who is creating the content, and usually it is the editorial team only who is also pushing the content. What I've usually seen is that if the same person is using the platform and looking at the metrics, then they are able to better decide what to do with it the next time. Like if I'm writing something today and it did not work, then I'll try something new tomorrow and it might work. And there are of course online guides, so there are a number of online guides that keep telling you what works. So these things about the icons, so there have been an extensive study on how emoticons and icons are important for a particular age group.
Images.
Yes, images are very important. Then the timing is important. Like if I'm sending a push notification at midnight, I am going to get unsubscribed, and people are actually going to contact me and tell me, "Oh no, what are you doing? You're disturbing my sleep for the push notification." But yes, if that push notification is relevant at midnight, say for example, if JEE main result is announced at midnight and I give them the push notification immediately, they're going to like it. They are going to come back to my platform again and again. So timing is important. See, we really can't come to a conclusion to what works. Honestly, like I told you, this is internet in itself is a very rapidly evolving field. What will work today will not work tomorrow. Like I told you, emailers were a big thing. So when we were starting out and we had these bloggers coming up to always help us out, they kept telling us, emailers are important. Emailers are important. You need to send emails. You need to capture email IDs. I get it. That is important even today. But maybe for an e-commerce platform, maybe for a platform where your life cycle of a product sell is longer. For a information platform, whether it be us or even whether it be Times of India or any newspaper, push notifications are slightly more important because what is important right now at this very second will become old after half an hour. आपका मान लीजिए अगर आप कोई न्यूज इफ यू आर अ न्यूज़पेपर and you have to announce the election results, everybody wants the results right now. They don't want it after half an hour. So that is where, so it is a given that in internet nothing will keep working for a longer time, and that is why even our team is always on the toes that so we have to keep changing and trying new things. So that is there. At least that could be my view. Maybe if somebody more sophisticated from the marketing world might be able to give you better insights into this.
But then precisely you have mentioned a lot of points which are very, very valid and helpful for someone who is in net tech space. And usage of segmentations is also very, very important. So how are you guys going? How are you guys going about using segmentation as an option to target effectively?
So we use the site taxonomy. So say for example, our website is divided into the types of exams. So like there's an engineering entrance exam section, a medical entrance exam section, and so on. So we use the site taxonomy to define. So if a user is using to subscribe through engineering platform, that means he should only get push notifications which are relevant to engineering entrance exams. Similarly, we are also using, say, the geographic location. So, like I gave you the example of the result today. So, the students who are from that particular state only would require the result of that particular state. So, geographical location is also important. Then we are also using certain URL parameters to understand which user should get what sort of push notification. So these are, so we, like I told you, we are not. We are not very aggressively segmenting them, but yes, we are softly segmenting them into the sort of notifications they might require.
Got it. Segmentation also helps you in lessening the number of unsubscription Anvesha. So with that, what we are trying to do is we're building a intelligent platform where it tells what time the notifications has to be sent,
Mhm, mhm.
How do you segment in order to make sure that your subscription rate don't go down? So building products like these, a lot of advanced tools in the future. So how excited are you to use all these features like these, the cutting edge technology which we have been building for a platform like Aglasem?
See, we are very excited. Like I told you, so push notifications are very important in the education space because education is a critical thing. If today is the last day to fill a form, and I need to tell the student that today is the last day to fill the form, they should get the notification immediately. So I think that is one aspect where a push platform can be better to ensure that if a push is sent at a particular time, it goes at that particular time because of the criticality of the space. Secondly, of course, if you're working on segmentation, that is very good. And in fact, if it can become intelligent by itself, not depend on the human intelligence, because a lot of time even we are not very clear on how to segment. But if the segmentation by itself is intelligent, like if it is saying, this user subscribed, he's from Punjab and he subscribed in your engineering entrance exam space, and tomorrow, if I want to send either a push of Punjab or a push of engineering, and even if it can tell me that, this is a class 12 student, then I should also be able to tell them, because sometimes we keep doing very important things for the class 12 students, like giving them free mock tests, like telling them the words of the education leader. So we should be able to send them that also. So segmentation by itself can become better, but at the same time it should become intelligent and not more complicated, because any company where if you go in depth to any in particular product, that in itself becomes studying a whole new syllabus by itself. Ki, now I have to understand this feature and work it out. So if it is better and intelligent, that will be great. Obviously we are very excited to try out all the new features that you roll out, and I'm very sure that my team would be happy if there are more features. Yes.
Cool. So you have shared a lot of thoughts about how a tech space work, how your engagement versus re-engagement strategies, which you derive
Mhm.
upon to help your customer base. So, any
Mhm.
parting thoughts which you have, which you can share to budding entrepreneurs, especially who are planning to explore this space?
So see, I mean, I don't know whether I am the right person to be giving a lot of advice to people, but one mistake I have seen many people, not just in the edtech space, but any entrepreneur space making, is they first ask, where is the money? How can I make money? And then they make a product. But it has to be the other way around. You solve a problem and money has to come. I mean, obviously, if it is a viable problem that you're solving, then the money will automatically come. You can't just run because see, entrepreneurship is not just saying "Ki, okay, fine, I'll do this because there is a lot of customers here and I'll make money. No, see what the problems are in the market. Whether you are in the tech space, then give technological solutions. I mean, man, look at this pandemic situation has taught us, if anything, that we cannot live without technology. I mean, had there been no e-commerce, had there been no online education, I mean, things would have been very difficult today. So
That
technology
is
is
true.
here to stay. Any solution that you give is here to stay, but focus on what problem you are solving, and I think you will be pretty successful. Yeah, that's just it. And I
Amazing.
guess here you guys are also doing a very great job in helping, build such a platform such as True Push, where because the push notifications are important for education space, for newspaper space, for any such space, and you guys are also doing a great job. And I think your team is also very good, because I think Anand and Rajat and other people have been talking to you guys a lot, and they always say that no, the team is good and they're very receptive to what we say. So that is very important. Having a good team is also very important.
Took us a lot of time to build it, but yeah, thanks a lot for the customers like you who have always been embracing a product like a young team like us. We have been fortunate that we're working with players like Aglasem, Get My Uni, and other big players in the market.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Currently, we are in a situation that we're working with biggest of publishers from India,
Mhm.
France, and Italy. So far, the journey has been phenomenal, and
I think you
hopefully,
will
we'll
grow
continue.
even bigger. Yeah, yeah, you will definitely grow bigger. So just keep doing the good work, and obviously you will grow bigger. Nobody can stop you there.
Obviously, likewise, Anvesha, keep rocking that tech space. I'm sure companies like you are required in times like these, solving real life problems for especially a very critical segment, students, employment, and relatable things. Good luck to you, and keep rocking. And my best wishes to your team, especially to Anand, who has been working with us closely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ravi. It was a pleasure meeting you guys.
Likewise. You have a good one,
Yeah.
Anvesha. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.